Bro, if I was to ask you who is the final Straw Hat, the vast, and I mean the vast majority of you will say it's definitely Loki. And I totally get you. I mean, even Luffy himself asked Loki, and Luffy always gets what he wants, right? But honestly, I'd say Loki has a 0% chance of joining if anything, because to me, the most likely candidate is actually Gunko. As ridiculous as that might seem now, by the end of the video, you will definitely be on the Gunko for nakama agenda. So then, why not Loki? Why not Loki? Well, allow me to ask you a question. Why did Rocks want Harald to eat the Nidgog fruit? Yes, because only Ragnir can unfreeze the ice, trapping the Galley-ra giants in Punk Hazard. And the recent chapter 1183 basically confirmed this. Emu's Maki balls had zero effect on Ragnir's ice, which was housing Gunko. Not only did Rocks want Harald to join him so that he could command the Galley-ra, but he also told Loki about Galley-ra. And now that Loki has eaten the Nidgog fruit, which Harald was supposed to eat, Loki has now not only inherited Harald's will, but most importantly, Rocks' will. Rocks, who really wanted to unfreeze Galley-ra. It is now perfectly set up that after the Elbaf arc, instead of joining the crew, Loki will see it as his personal mission to carry out Rocks' will and Harald's will to unfreeze the Galley-ra giants in Punk Hazard. And honestly, I kind of feel like Loki is way too strong to join the crew anyway. He is literally stronger than Rocks, since Harald was equal to Rocks and Loki beat a powered up version of Harald. And if you still doubt his strength, he is now lasting multiple chapters against Emu. It's literally undeniable at this point. And bearing in mind, Loki beat the Shadow Emu pretty easily, and yet all of the legends at the same time together couldn't do anything to Shadow Emu. Just let that sink in. Loki joining would be a disaster, an absolute disaster for the monster trio. I really don't think Loki joining is a good idea because it ruins all tension. So all of this together completely disqualifies Loki. Now, why would I make such a ridiculous claim such as Gunko is joining the crew of all people? Well, I'm gonna be honest. She literally has no choice but to join. Before I explain what I mean, I feel like there's something a lot of people are beginning to overlook. This panel, we see Brook stating that his dream is to be a pirate, whilst we see a kid Gunko singing with Brook. Did you notice how this is a one-to-one parallel with Luffy and Shanks? I think Gunko's Shanks is Brook. The same way Shanks inspired Luffy to be a pirate, Brook inspired Gunko to be a pirate because Brook himself wanted to be a pirate. That was his dream. This is a one-to-one parallel with Luffy and Shanks. But you see, the tragedy of Gunko is that she never got to be a pirate. Her dream was taken away by Emu, who turned her into a celestial dragon, Holy Knight. One Piece is a series about dreams, the power of dreams. A man's dream never ends, inherited will, etc. So it seems thematically inconsistent if Gunko does not get to live out her dream of being a pirate. Matter of fact, Luffy would completely support her dream if he ever hears about this dream from Brook. So now, back to when I said Gunko would have no other choice but to join. Here we go. Once Brook frees Gunko from Emu's mind possession with his music, like how he freed Big Mom's homies with his music powers, just like Nico Robin, Gunko will now be living on the run, constantly hiding, constantly trying to avoid the world government because of a certain ability that I will reveal later. Gunko simply has to find a safe space. What other crew out there would declare war against the entire world government for the sake of one person? Yes, the Straw Hats, just like they did for Nico Robin. And with Gunko on the crew, Brook can finally play out his old role and old duty as a former royal guard, protecting the princess of Asperia Kingdom, Shuri. Everything coming full circle. Earlier I mentioned that Gunko had an ability that Emu was after. Well, this is my theory. So you know the same way how Joy Boy tied his haki into a knot? I think the reason why Gunko has two different eye colours, one being red, one being blue, whilst her biological parents do not share the same eye trait, is because Gunko's Void Century ancestor, just like Joy Boy, stored memories of the Void Century into the red eye using haki, hence why the red eye, because haki is usually red. We have still never seen Gunko use her eye in any situation in battle. So why is Gunko so special to Emu? It can't just be the blue hair, right? I mean, at that point, why not just kidnap Boogie too? Like, a lot of people are forgetting that Emu being in love with Lily is still headcanon. Like, that's not a confirmed fact. Yes, Emu is obsessed with Lily, but that could be for completely other reasons that we are just not thinking of yet. It doesn't have to be romantic. I really don't think that Emu kidnapped Gunko because of blue hair. Like, what can you do with blue hair other than just look at it? Anyway, the point is, if Gunko can see the Void Century memories, this is where we get bits and pieces of the Void Century flashback. Whilst on the Thousand Sunny, I believe Gunko has actually seen Nika, hence why she fears him. And because she has this power, she's always on the run if she doesn't join the crew. The same way Nika Robin was always on the run, she could read the poneglyphs, hence see, at least metaphorically, into the Void Century, making it a necessity for Gunko to join. All of this together leads me to one conclusion. Gunko is the final Straw Hat and not Loki. But what do you guys think? Definitely comment down below who you think the final Straw Hat is. Anyway, thank you to my members, Cats in my family, Uso Timor and Mr. Bushido 56. If you like this video, then definitely check out this one over here. I'll see you there.